The failed former president exploded in the middle of the night on Truth Social once again.
Truth Central.
The weight of facing life in prison from a variety of charges in 4 different criminal indictments is really getting to him. And I think it's important as we get closer to the end of the show here. We've talked about the impeachment of Joe Biden. We've talked about the absurdity of many of the Republicans who have no evidence justifying that. We've gone through all of the last 24 hours. The last element, the final element to the last 24 hours is that Donald Trump continues to exist in a world where he is a legend in his own mind, and is just unable to handle what is going on in the real world, including the fact that Joe Biden is actually being president and is getting some things done, including this Iran negotiated agreement we talked about yesterday, and that Trump truly is facing life in prison. Trump posting in the middle of the night, quote, "Desanctimonious poll numbers are crashing. Is it that he is a not very skilled politician? Or perhaps his not so long ago fight against farmer Social Security and Medicare? Or maybe it's the lack of loyalty to the man who took the DeSantis failing campaign and through a strong endorsement got him elected. Whatever it is, few have ever witnessed a drop so fast and so severe. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?" Now, this is sort of weird because there's really nothing going on with DeSantis's polls over the last month. DeSantis did lose about half of his support. DeSantis was at nearly 31 in January. He's now at 14. He's lost more than half of his support. But it's basically been unchanged for the last month. There's no new data, reliable data, that would tell us why all of a sudden Trump's talking about DeSantis polling in the middle of the night on September 13th. I just don't know. Trump continuing, quote, "It's all happening even worse than anyone projected. President Vladimir Putin of Russia is using crooked Joe Biden's illegal banana republic style treatment of his political opponent, who is beating him badly in the polls, to condemn America and all of the good things it once stood for." By the way, if you struggle to follow the subjects and objects of Trump's sentences, you're not alone. Grammatically, this is just a mess. Trump continuing, "The whole world is watching as the USA is being torn apart by dreams of election interference." None of that makes sense, but Trump continuing the post 9/11 freak out on Joe Biden. Trump engaging caps lock and posting, quote, "A big lie. Crooked Joe just said he was in New York City on September 12, one day after the fall of the World Trade Center. This was immediately proven to be not so. A total lie like everything else he says. He even went into a big deal about the horrors he saw while there, how tragic a sight it was. Remember, he wasn't there." Trump clearly not well at all. And then on the new Iran negotiations, which we discussed yesterday, Trump just furious, saying, quote, "So let's get this straight. We did a hostage trade with Iran. We gave them 5 very tough, smart people that they desperately wanted. We likewise got back 5 people, but we also gave them $6 billion. How much of a kickback does crooked Joe Biden get? Does anyone realize how much money $6 billion is? When I was president, I got back 58 hostages for 0 money. Remember Pastor Brunson? It sets a terrible precedent. Republicans call out the 25th Amendment. Now Biden is incompetent." Now, I will be the first to tell you and to admit that there is much to discuss about the deal that Joe Biden was able to put together to get these 5 detained citizens back. I didn't hide from you that there is a perspective that should be listened to, which says if Iran learns, we'll get rewarded if we have these detainees and then negotiate for them for their release. Why wouldn't they do it again? I mean, this is not unique. It's not unique to Iran. It's not unique to Joe Biden. It's not a unique situation. On humanitarian grounds, the deal seems to make a lot of sense. But the idea that Trump is just furious that Biden is doing anything, getting anything done. And of course, by the way, Trump demanding the 25th Amendment be used to strip Biden of his powers is really rich, given the extensive concerns during Trump's entire presidency, including in particular surrounding the time that Trump took his so-called cognitive test, where he had to draw a tiger and recognize what time it was on an analog clock. It's particularly rich that Trump is bringing up the 25th Amendment when it really makes extraordinarily little sense. This guy is on the edge. And my concern is, listen, whatever happens to Trump is going to happen to Trump. He's got 4 criminal trials. We don't know. He may end up in prison. He may not. It's very much unclear. The concern now is, how do we pull the cultists out of the cult? Because what we don't want is Trump getting indicted or Trump losing the general election or even losing the primary, as unlikely as that seems. We don't want that happening. And then the MAGAs go crazy and become violent in the streets again. We need some non-violent, non-traumatic way of deprogramming these people. The best sort of hypothesis that we've gotten about how that might happen is that Trump is supplanted with someone else that the cultists can transition their support to. The only problem or potentially scary thing about that, of course, is that it might be an even more extreme and dangerous person. When cult leaders are replaced, it's often by an even crazier person. And that should, quite frankly, scare every single one of us. Let me know what you expect to happen. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. We will be here through and beyond the 2024 election, covering every aspect of this, as well as global reaction to what is happening in the United States. And for those of you who have been following that, it is not pretty. It is not pretty.